that checkered. Drafted lines tighter than a bank teller's ledger. Turn 4 is a monster, jaws wide like a gator. Pit stop, quick cruise, move sharp as a razor. Adrenaline pumps, veins fuel injected. Outlaws on the track, chaos perfected. Full throttle kings, we don't slow down. Ripping through the night, owning this town. Cast to the floor, the crowd gets loud. Outlaws racing, we're born unbound. Smoke trails, girl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint jobs flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, stealing pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump drafts, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump drafts, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Smoke trails curl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint jobs flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, stealing pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump draft, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump draft, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Engines scream, asphalt burns, the grip's a gamble. Tires squeal, hearts race, this leads to scandal. Full throttle, no brakes, chasing that checkered. Drafted lines tighter than a bank teller's ledger. Turn 4 is a monster, jaws wide like a gator. Pit stop, quick cruise, move sharp as a razor. Adrenaline pumps, veins fuel injected. Outlaws on the track, chaos perfected. Full throttle kings, we don't slow down. Ripping through the night, owning this town. Cast to the floor, the crowd gets loud. Outlaws racing, we're born unbound. Smoke trails, girl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint jobs flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, stealing pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump draft, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump draft, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Smoke trails curl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint jobs flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, stealing pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rumble here from Iowa Speedway. It is where the corn grows, as each and every one of these drivers in the Full Throttle Outlaw Series are going to be looking to try to put themselves into victory lane, into the infield of dreams here this evening, into their victory lane here at Iowa Speedway, as It is qualifying right now. It is coming to a close. That means our A main feature event is about to get underway. Things are about to get started here in just a couple more moments. Brad Hunt, what's good, Brad? Brad coming in, showing the love of the like on the stream here this evening. I appreciate that, brother. Coming in, smashing the thumbs up here on the broadcast as we get ready to set them loose. We get ready to go to battle as it is Christian Strader. Strader will start in the pole position, I do believe, in this season. I think this is the first time we've seen him back out there on the racetrack here with the Full Throttle Outlaws. So we've missed him for the last few weeks, but for the 29 ride, looking to get off to a hot start as he gets rolling here in this new series, as Strader will start in the pole position. To his outside in the 49 ride, that is Scott Rankin. The 34 of Alex Ricci. Ricci will start in position number 3 here this evening. To his outside will be the 92 of Clinton Woodby. Starting in position number 5 in the Save 22 Vet number 39 ride, that is Jackson Connell. To his outside in the Brett's Electric number 78, it's Ryan Rose. Starting in position number 7 will be the Sinclair Dino Care number 6 ride of Rusty Modesty. Modesty will start there in position number 7. It'll be Tristan Kyle who will start to his outside. The 67 ride, the Fast House Machine of Greg Wood Jr. will start there in 9th with Colton Hardy to his outside. Rounding out our top 10 in the winning bid, QH Designs, Sonic Graphic Designs number 97. Back in 11th, it is the 18. That is the Radar Scope Machine of Mr. Evan Schilling. To his outside in the 87, that is Joe Yakes. Starting back in 13th is the 13 ride, the American Flag Flamed ride. That is a Gregory Wood Sr. To his outside in the Interstate Batteries number 20, it is Philip Toscano. They're in position number 14. Starting in the 15th position will be the 3 ride. That is the Deaf Awareness Month, the Songs for Sound number 3 machine. That is Keith Prince. Starting there in 15th. To his outside will be the 69 ride, the Shitty Coolers machine. That is Jesse Wise, who will start in the 16th spot. Starting in 17th in the 93, it is the Miller Genuine Draft. That is the 93 of Michael Yanks. To his outside will be the 4 ride, the Pabst Blue Ribbon machine. So beer company sponsors here door to door to start this feature event. Jesse Calloway will start there in 18th. And bringing up the rear of the field back in 19th, the Razor Toyota, the number 5 ride of Matt Hayden, will start there in the 19th position. So a lot of these drivers gonna have to try to work themselves towards the front. Other drivers gonna have to try to hang on to it as we get 155 laps of racing action here this evening for what will be a very exciting night of racing action here. These guys are about to put on an absolutely amazing show here for us in the winning bid 155 here with the Full Throttle Outlaws. As nice and easy down the back straightaway, the lights are off, the official iRacing pace car. So the next time by the start finish line, we will see the initial green flag fly. We will see these guys go to battle. Now the last 2 nights, our feature events have went clean and green. I don't know if we're going to get that here tonight at Iowa. Iowa can be a real hit or miss style of a racetrack. We can either see an abundance of yellow flags, or we can see a lot of good hard green flag racing with the new and approved update with the asphalt down in the bottom 2 lanes. It really seems to make this track a little bit more racy, a little bit more sturdy, where we don't tend to see a ton of yellow. So it could be 3 races in a row without an issue out there on the racetrack. Now we will see at least a caution flag on lap number 40, the completion of lap number 40 for our first and only stage break of the day, as the 29 rider Christian Schrader not only sees that green flag fly but quickly leads lap number 1. So Schrader out in front. The Reese's Pieces number 29 ride has the top position, and he's hoping to keep all these drivers back there at bay. Is what's good, Russ Harold coming in, showing the love. How are you, Ross? How you doing today? Hopefully you're having yourself a amazing Friday, as here at Iowa Speedway we got an absolutely amazing show for everyone to enjoy here tonight, as these drivers will duke it out here for a lot of laps, a lot of green flag laps, I feel, here this evening, which is going to make just for some absolutely amazing action, some amazing back and forths out there on the racetrack. And if we do see very long green flag runs here, especially in the second stage, then it's going to make things that much more interesting. It's going to make things very, very fun out there on the racetrack. When you start to add in the tire wear, you start to add in the fuel mileage game plan and everything else. And then obviously it's a short track. We can see, tight racing out there. Drivers won't really be opening up massive, massive lead advantages. One simple mistake could slide you back a couple spots in a heartbeat. You want to keep that momentum up. You want to keep your foot in the throttle and keep on strolling out there on the speedways. My boy Thomas Dennis, what's good, Thomas? Thomas coming in, showing the love here in this one. How are you, Thomas? How you doing this evening? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful Friday. Mr. Dennis showing the love here in this one as Christian Strader continues to lead the way, and down across the line he will lead lap number 5. So all 5 laps into the back pocket here for the 29 ride of Christian Strader as Scott Rankin and Jackson Connell try to hunt him down. Alex Ricci there trying to hold on to position number 4 as of right now. He's got Tristan Kyle driving deep down to the inside as the West Virginia number 23 of Tristan Kyle now early on up 4 positions. Him and Connell have been working their way up towards the front here as Connell up 2 spots. Tristan Kyle now up 4 positions. Started back in 8th, now sits in position number 4 and continues to look for more. Alex Ricci slides back to 5th. Ryan Rose there in 6th. The 67 of Greg Wood Jr. up a couple spots as well, now into 7th. Clinton Woodby falls back into 8th with Rusty Modesty there in 9th, and we do see a early caution flag here this evening as it looks like Gregory Wood Sr. going to run into some issues here. Looks like maybe getting a little bit of help. We'll have to wait and see. Is coming out of corner number 2. Just looks like maybe trying to avoid that outside fence. Comes down the racetrack. That was a big, big hit right there. We get a great look at it. So 13 right pushes up the racetrack here on corner exit, and as he does, gets a little loose, a little sideways there, comes back down, and unfortunately as he does, the 20 of Philip Toscano has himself a little piece of that 13 ride. Helps him go around there, obviously down into the infield, and big contact here. That's a heavy hit. That 13 ride, man, that's a lot of damage early on. Hopefully he's going to be able to use that quick repair, try to get this car fixed back up and back out there onto the racetrack, because this thing is going to be hurting for quite a little while, man. That is a big piece of contact. Now we do see drivers elected to come down pit road early on. We do see a couple tankers here as Evan Schilling, Keith Prince come down pit road. Obviously we saw Gregory Wood Sr. also down pit road. He was able, I do believe, to use a quick repair, get this car fairly fixed up. Yes, so he does use that quick repair up, and that will set him back a little bit here. Obviously not having that in his back pocket for later in the race, or if he gets tied up in another incident, obviously that may hurt his odds and his chances of trying to win this race here this evening, as he'll be now at the back of the pack. He'll have to get restacked up and ready to rumble once again, as Christian Strader will have to get ready for the first restart of this race now after leading the first 8 laps, about to be 9 laps here, and I should be about 10 laps in by the time we see that green flag come back out. As Anna Alessandro, what's good, Anna? Anna coming in showing the love, says, what's up, Peacemaker? What's up, Anna? You know what's up. Just some good hard racing and enjoying our Friday night here in the booth, and bringing the action here to all the fans in the stands of the Full Throttle Outlaws here this evening. As Eric Hardy, what's good, Eric? Eric coming in showing the love with that heart reaction, says, let's go 97, cheering on Mr. Colton Hardy out there on the Speedway. Colton right where he started this race, back in that 10th position, as the winning bid QH Designs 97 ride will continue to try to work his way up towards the front of the field. As Christian Strader, though, Christian continues to hold on to the top spot here. Honestly, for the 29 ride, going to have to try to get a big run, and now it could really come down to lane selection here. Whether or not he wants to try to use the inside groove for this restart, maybe the outside lane may be better. It's all about, where you feel more comfortable, and obviously where you can feel that you may get a big run. I'm assuming we're going to see the 29 taking the inside lane, not jumping up there to the outside, and that's exactly what it looks looks like. They're already trying to get formed up here and ready for this restart, knowing that if he can get a good jump, a good launch, he can try to clear that 49 right as quickly as possible. Hope to see potentially the 49 and the 39 kind of duke it out there, as not very often do we see 29, 49, and 39 cars all here at the front of the field. So I don't know if we got a 19 right in the field, but they need to get to the top for right now, so we can just kind of go through it. If there's a 9 car, get up there as well. Let's get the 69 of Jesse Wise into the mix. Let's get all the numbers with the 9s at the end up and into the front of the road. I feel there's only one more. That's the 69 of Mr. Wise back there. If you could join those guys up at the front, that would make for some fun here this evening. As the battle of the 9s out there at the front of the field, as Christian Schrader will look to try to hold them off as the lights are off. The official iRacing pace car, and we'll get ready to go back to battle here today. Here we go. Green flag back out into the air for Christian Schrader. Schrader does get a great restart. Quickly slides up, gets a good angle down into corner number 1, hoping to try to get a solid drive as you see the 39 right, able to slide up in front of Scott Rankin. Rankin now trying to hold on to position number 3. As here comes Tristan Kyle. Kyle right there looking down low, trying to get that West Virginia machine up and into position number 3 here on the Speedway. His teammates here trying to navigate their way to the front, but here comes the 78 right, looking deep down low. That's a big move from Ryan Rose, as here comes Alex Ricci looking to his outside. The 67 of Greg Wood Jr. right there ready to pounce, as Clinton Woodby and Rusty Modesty roll there in 9th and 8th and 9th out there on the racetrack. So Modesty and Clinton Woodby early on have fallen back a couple spots, but here comes Philip Toscano, as Toscano jumps up into position number 10 now on the racetrack. So for the 20 ride, not a lot of damage to the front end after the 13 ride went around there at corner number 2. Got a little contact with them, but not too much damage where it's affecting this Toyota Supra, and he's able to keep his foot in the throttle, navigate his way inside the top 10, and he would love to try to jump up inside the top 5 here and help his teammates out, being that Tristan Kyle and Jackson Connell right now sit in that 2nd and 4th position on the racetrack. But it's Christian Schrader. Schrader continuing to lead the way here as that Ford Mustang continues to show these guys how to get it done here in this one, as the 29 ride continues to lead this race. Got a couple car lengths between himself and that 39 of Jackson Connell. Now Connell may have a little bit of competition here. Looks like the 49 of Scott Rankin wanting to jump back into position number 2 here. He's taking a peek down to the inside as the 39 and the 49 door to door. They're both chasing down the 29 of Christian Schrader out there on the racetrack. As all these guys continue to slice and dice it, you look right there behind him. That's Tristan Kyle trying to poke his nose into the battle. Here comes Rose as well, as we'll take a look back. We do see Jesse Calloway now up 5 positions. So Calloway trying to work his way up and through the field, sits in that 13th position, and one of the drivers that we thought would be moving a little sooner to the front of the field here was that 5 ride of Mr. Matt Hayden. Hayden really has not gained too much here. He's still sitting back at about the 16th position. I'm not sure if he just doesn't have the handling that he would like to have here in his car, or potentially just trying to play some strategy, trying to not use up these tires as early as everyone else. Maybe just try to play it a little bit safer here early on in this race and hoping to pounce later on. It could all be about that strategy game here for a lot of these competitors, and being a 155 lap race, you got a lot of laps, you got a lot of time to try to work yourself up towards the front. As here we go, battle at the front. The 49 Scott Rankin wants to make the move. He wants to steal this race lead away from Christian Schrader. Schrader now up the racetrack in corner number 3 and 4. They'll drag race back down the front straight away, and it looks like potentially, no, it looks like Schrader still able to lead lap number 19 out there on the racetrack, but I'm not sure how long he can hold off this 49 ride of Scott Rankin, but Rankin does not yet yet able to complete this pass. He's been giving it everything he's got. He's been driving it deep down low, trying to find these big runs, and it looks like this time out at corner number 4, he may be able to get that 29 right a straighter, and that's exactly what will happen. So on lap number 20, we see our first pass for the race lead. Our first new race leader here today is Scott Rankin. Now out in front, now has the top spot out there on the speedway. Here comes Jackson Connell. Here comes Tristan Kyle. Both drivers trying to poke their nose into this fight at the front, wanting to work themselves maybe to the point here and trying to run away with this race. They all know that there is a competition caution at lap number 40. At the completion of lap 40, we'll see our second caution flag potentially of the day come out. Obviously, that'll be our first and only stage break here on the evening, where we will hand out some more points here. I do believe the drivers inside, I want to get this right, I'm not sure if it's the top 5 or if it's the top 10 that earn points in the stage, but we will take a look and see. So it doesn't really specify in this one. So I do believe it is top 10 that all earn points there during that stage break, but it could be changed here for the series. It could be only the top 5. We'll have to wait and see if we can get official word on that one or not. But I do know for a lot of these drivers, just being up there, being able to win the stage, you know that you're guaranteed some extra points, some extra bonus points that you can use to go towards the point standings and try to help yourself out a little bit more here in the series. And after Atlanta Motor Speedway, it is Jackson Kyle with the points lead. So Jackson Connell, Jackson Connell, Tristan Kyle, 1 and 2 here in the point standings. David Traylor back in 3rd. Philip Toscano back in position number 4. Kevin Wenker, who's not here tonight, unfortunately for K-Dub, not out there on the racetrack, the 42 ride. Not going to get any points here this evening. We didn't see David Traylor out there as well, so no points going to David Traylor. Should move potentially an entire team up into the front here if Philip, Tristan, Jackson, if they can have solid runs, they should be able to stay probably pretty close to being 1, 2, and 3 here on the standings. Ryan Rose, Colton Hartney, Joe Yakes, not too far behind either, so we'll have to keep a close eye on those points here throughout the evening, as we're still early in the season, still a lot of races left to go, still a lot of opportunities for drivers to be able to work themselves up in towards the points lead and trying to set themselves up nicely here for our postseason, as I do believe we still have, I don't even know how many races left here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 races left here after tonight for the regular season point standings before we head into our round of 15 for 3 races, round of 10 for 3 races, and then our championship race at Homestead, Miami. As obviously with such a long series, holidays around the corner as well with Halloween, American Thanksgiving, not Canadian Thanksgiving, but that's not on a Friday, so we don't have to worry about that one. And obviously Christmas and New Year's, these guys will be off for 4 weeks. That virtually takes a month out, so this series won't even end until the new year. Virtually at the end of January is when we will crown a champion. So there is a lot of time. There is a lot of time to find that extra gear, to find that extra little bit of speed, and try to put yourself into a position to potentially jump up and win some of these races. Maybe put yourself, into a better playoff areas, a little bit better of a point standings that can really help promote and drive you towards what could be a championship run here on the season. So even if you miss a race early on in the year, obviously the season is not over. It is a long season, a lot of time to try to bounce back, as we see Scott Rankin and Jackson Connell 1 and 2 out there on the speedway. You do see Tristan Kyle trying to hang on to position number 3 after Christian Strader had fallen back into position number 4. Strader trying to work his way back there, but we're getting closer and closer to the first stage break. Obviously only about 10 laps left to go here in stage number 1. And for the 78 rider, Ryan Rose, Outlaws sitting there in 5th, trying to get some good solid points here as well. But obviously with our top 2 in the point standings, Jackson Connell and Tristan Kyle sitting in 2nd and 3rd, they are lined up nicely here to potentially earn some extra bonus points that could help potentially draw them a little farther away from the rest of the field and continue to try to open up a bit of points lead here between themselves and the rest of the pack. Their teammate Philip Toscano back in position number 8 on the racetrack, as well as Toscano trying to work his way up there towards the front. I do believe in line for at least a few stage points here this evening, sitting in that 8th position, as we do see Alex Ricci still trying to get some, Greg Wood Jr., Ryan Rose all up there, and obviously Christian Schrader, who I do believe hasn't even ran a race yet in this season. He's sitting there in position number 4, could definitely get some pretty solid points out there on this evening, as I don't believe we've seen Schrader out there in the season as of yet. He is not, so this is his first race after missing virtually what would be the first 5 races of the season. I don't know if he'd be able to come back from that. I don't know if it's a win and you're into the playoffs, or if you have to just race your way in through points. If it is through points, then obviously it's going to be very, very tough for Schrader to be able to get into the battle and be able to, duke it out for this championship. But he's starting off on a good note, trying to get some stage points, trying to get that upper hand, qualified on the pole as well, so he's off to a good start. But if he can win a race and potentially get into the playoffs that way, then that could really open up the door for the 29 to try to have a solid playoff performance and try to put himself in as our champion. I'm sure Jackson Connell and Tristan Kyle, they're definitely not going to want to see another fierce competitor out there on the racetrack, as Christian Schrader going to give them a bit of a run for their money. Scott Rankin, though, out in front, still just leading the way here. He's kind of gotten cruise control rolling right now, as he's got about 4 car lengths between himself and that 39 ride of Jackson Connell. As Connell in tow, about 4/10, almost 5/10 back behind our race leader now. And I think for a lot of these guys, they're just trying to get to that end of the stage. And when you look back here at some of these other drivers, when you look at Matt Hayden, Michael Yakes, Evan Schilling, they are definitely way off the pace here. Even Keith Prince in the 3 ride could potentially be at risk of going a lap down here. But now with only 3 laps left to go here in this stage, if he can try to keep himself on the lead lap, maybe they're just trying to not burn up their tires, hope to have some pretty solid tires for this second stage, the start of it. Maybe they're trying to keep an extra set back behind pit wall for late in this race, a strategy that may pay dividends for them later in the year, or right later in this race, as tire fall off is going to be a major factor here in this race. Is out in front, Scott Rankin leads another lap here, and it's only 2 laps left to go in this stage. But as we look at these drivers and where their lap times were compared to their best lap times, they are already well over 1 second slower here, and that is with caution laps in there as well. And obviously now probably about, I would say, 33, 34 laps of green flag racing, having a second plus of tire fall off, getting more towards that second and a half with tire fall off, just really shows how important trying to save these tires and trying to have tires late in this race are going to be. So for a couple of these guys, maybe try to play that strategy, and saving a set here for this second round is definitely going to be a big factor for them. As Scott Rankin down across the line, he will win stage number 1 here this evening. So Scott Rankin out in front, Jackson Connell there in second, Tristan Kyle, Christian Schrader, Ryan Rose, our top 5. Alex Ricci, Greg Wood Jr., Philip Toscano, they're in position number 8, and then we see Rusty Modesty and Joe Yakes rounding out our top 10 here in our first and only stage break of the evening. 41 laps now completed down across the line. So 41 laps out of this race are already done, already completed here this evening, as our drivers will get lined up here behind the official iRacing pace car. And now we kind of get into that area where what's the strategy going to be? I feel a lot of these drivers, you got to come down pit road. You got to put tires on here and hope that, you can use them to your advantage here. And if we stay clean and green, it could definitely help you out. But for other drivers that were backing up the pace a ton here late in this race, potentially drivers like Clinton Woodby, like Matt Hayden, Michael Yanks, Evan Schilling, Keith Prince, who are well off the pace, just really trying to save those tires a tremendous amount. Maybe they just come down pit road and get fuel only compared to our race leaders, who are more than likely going to be taking tires because they were burning their equipment up. They were racing very hard out there on the racetrack. We even saw some of them starting to fall back, starting to feel that tire wear taking effect here, as we did see Christian Strader, our pole sitter. He was running into problems. We do see these guys head down pit road, and here we go. This will be the telling tale. We do see the 39 ride get jacked up. There's the 29 ride. He's putting tires on. Looks like the 49 is Scott Rankin not going with any tires. Same with the 23 machine as we look a little deeper back in the back at some of these other drivers like Keith Prince and Michael Yakes. Let's even take a look at Matt Hayden in the 5 ride. I'm sure this was a pretty fast pit stop here for the 5 machine as well. Let's take a look and see what some of these strategy calls are going to be, as here comes the 5 ride down into his pit stall. He was the last car out there, and unfortunately has to have that final pit stall on the racetrack. And there you go. You see him not getting any tires onto this number 5 machine. So there's a lot of strategy going on here for a bunch of these drivers that could definitely play into their favor or could really hurt them here in the long run. If we see a long green flag run, they could definitely fall off, obviously a lot sooner than the cars with the fresh tires, and that could send them back in a quick hurry. Even for drivers that were a little harder on their tires, like Scott Rankin, who won that first stage. Scott Rankin was running pretty solidly there. Obviously running some pretty fast lap times and not taking tires down pit road is definitely a bit of a question mark here for that 49 ride. Even when you look at Tristan Kyle back here, let's take a look at Kyle's pit stop as he rolls in. He was running in, I do believe, the 3rd position at the end of the stage, and here's another driver that elects to go with no tires, fuel only, into the 23 ride. Looks like there's a few other tankers in that strategy as well. So this is going to really shift things around here for this restart. As here we go, back to green flag racing, a little tire spin into the 23. He washes up the racetrack, opens up the door down low as they're 3 wide to his inside. A bit of a mistake right there for the 23. That'll wash him up the racetrack. Here comes Joe Yanks. Here comes that number 39 ride of Jackson Connell. Connell does have fresh tires on that 39 ride. We'll have to wait and see what some of the other drivers' tires are going to look like when we look back here at drivers like Scott Rankin, like the 23 of Tristan Kyle, who are pretty hard on their tires in that first stage. They were running pretty solid lap times and then did not take tires. As here we go, caution flag is going to fly. So cautions breeding cautions, and we see that Brett's Electric number 78 ride down through the infield grass. Let's take a look and see what happens here to Ryan Rose. Maybe a little contact here out of corner number 4, as looks like he's going to get a nudge right here from Alex Ricci, and this could just be one of those things of fresher tires compared to older tires. And unfortunately for the Brett's Electric Corsair number 78 ride, going to go for that slide down through the infield grass. Luckily enough, no major contact or damage there for the 78, but a quick caution flag will put us, right back down to the pace lap speed, and this could start to affect some of those fresher tires. A lot of times when you kind of get a couple quick caution flags, it can almost stall out a tire set there on the racetrack. So we'll have to wait and see if that may be the case. The tire pressures build up over these restarts, and if you have a continuous couple caution flags, it can really take a lot of life and a lot of power out of those fresher tires. So for drivers that came down pit road and that already used their first set, that could be a big hiccup out there on the racetrack if we continue to see more and more yellow flags. We'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to try to go back to green flag racing here once again. Didn't look like anybody had come down pit road. Everyone stays out on the racetrack. No one comes down pit side. So that means that there's no other drivers taking maybe advantage of this pit stop. Obviously, it's a little too early. If they would have maybe ran, 5, 10, maybe more towards that 15-20 lap area, then maybe they would have came down pit road and gotten a fresh set of tires compared to some of the other guys out there on the racetrack, or the drivers that already have the fresh tires. That would give them more of an advantage here in the second stage. So we'll have to wait and see how this one gets played out, as we'll get them all ready to rumble, ready to go back to green flag racing as we inch closer and closer towards the completion of lap number 50 out there on the Speedway. Is down across the line. They will complete lap number 48 here this evening. And so far, a few yellow flags, 2 for incidents, 1 for our stage break. 48 laps into this race, no one has went a lap down. No one has exited this race. All 19 drivers still out there on the Speedway, all still ready to go to battle here in this one. Everyone was down pit road there on lap number 42. Everyone was down pit road on lap number 42. No one had come down pit road and made a, pit stop there during this caution flag, which is quite surprising. I felt like we would have saw at least a couple drivers maybe coming back down pit road, getting a little extra fuel into their rides, knowing that that extra bit of fuel, that extra little gumption could have potentially gave them a bit of an advantage, when it comes to maybe a long green flag run to try and get some extra fuel into their race car. So we'll have to wait, see if we get another quick caution, if we see some takers down pit road, or if we can keep it clean and green again and see some more great green flag laps being laid down here by these drivers. As Scott Rankin gets the green flag back out into the air, gets another great launch, another good restart here, but now we'll have to try to hold off Jackson Connell again here on the Speedway. Tristan Kyle able to work his way back into position number 3. As here we go, the 49 washes up the racetrack, opens up the door down low, and for the 39 of Jackson Connell, he will take over the race lead as we get our third race leader here this evening. Jackson Connell, to the point it only took him 50 laps to get there, but now that he has it, can somebody take it away from him? As the 49 of Scott Rankin trying to hang right there, the 23 trying to get to his back bumper, trying to work his way to the rear end of his teammate out there on the racetrack, and hoping that they can work together to just try to keep everyone else back at bay. As Tristan Kyle trying to move into position number 2. The 49 of Scott Rankin trying to hold on to that second spot, as here comes Christian Strader. Strader starting to reel them in. Here comes Alex Ricci as well. Ricci in that 34 ride. The 6 of Rusty Modesty. Here comes Joe Yanks, Clinton Woodby, Jesse Calloway in 9th, and Colton Hardy rounding out our top 10. Philip Toscano back there in position number 11, with Greg Wood Jr. back in 12th. Ryan Rose up into 13th here again. So a great run and great rebound after getting contact there, going around and bringing out our third caution flag of the day. The 78 ride went through that slide through the infield grass, and here he is trying to work his way back up towards the top 10, hoping to try to make some moves here and try to maybe steal a couple extra spots away from some of these drivers. The 4 ride pushes up high. Here comes the 67 and the 78 down low. They're going to be 3 wide down the back straightaway as the 78 of Ryan Rose works his way into that 10th position. So Ryan Rose back up inside the top 10, able to make 9 quick passes there since that restart, and quickly back inside the top 10. He may not be done as of yet. He's still looking here to maybe pick up a couple more spots. To the 92 ride of Clinton Woodby falling back a little bit right there. Unfortunately falls back now into position number 10 on the racetrack, and he may fall outside the top 10 as the 78 continues to keep his foot in the throttle. The 23 ride of Tristan Kyle slides back into 5th. The 49 of Scott Rankin there in 4th, as I do believe we're going to see some of the fresher tires work their way to the point here as we see the 29 of Christian Strader take that race lead back away. So Strader back out in front. He was able to leapfrog and put himself back in front of Jackson Connell here on the racetrack, and Connell now sits back there in position number 2. Alex Ricci there in 3rd. Scott Rankin, who took no tires there on that lap 42 pit stop, the end of stage number 1. We saw, a mixture of drivers taking tires, bunch of drivers that took fuel only, and obviously now we're starting to feel kind of both ends of that spectrum and where drivers are rolling out there on the speedway, how the fresher tires are moving forward. The older tires, unfortunately, are starting to slide back, and obviously if that continues on for another 40, 50 laps before we see these guys come back down pit road, it opens up the possibility that they could go a lap down. They could put themselves into a very difficult position, and this is not an easy racetrack to make green flag pit stops at. We see a lot of, speeding penalties down pit side. So for a lot of these drivers, having that potential of maybe 1 or 2 green flag pit stops here in this second stage of the race definitely could make things very, very tough for them and potentially could take them out of a good race win or just a solid run here this evening as Strader continues to lead the way. 1.1 seconds between himself now in Jackson Connell. Connell has that Grimace ride right there behind him as that McDonald's Grimace machine rolls in position number 3. Alex Ricci trying to work his way closer to the front of the field here as he works to the back bumper of the Save 22 Bet number 39 ride. That is obviously Jackson Connell in position number 2, but you do see Ryan Rose who went around there before the, he brought out the last caution flag around lap number 45, 46 there. And obviously for the 78 ride, that's a tough break. That's a tough place to be going around having an issue, but he has those fresh tires on the 78 machine, and he's been taking advantage of them. Restarted back in 19th, has rolled around 15 other drivers, and now has himself inside the top 4 and continuing to look for more. Greg Wood Jr. right there with him in that 5th position as Philip Toscano back in position number 6. Scott Rankin now falls back to 7th as Tristan Kyle there in 8th. Joe Yanks in 9th with Clinton Woodby still rounding out our top 10 as he's got Rusty Modesty, Greg Wood Sr., the 5 ride of Matt Hayden, Jesse Calloway, Keith Prince, Colton Hardy, our top 16 with Michael Yakes, Jesse Wise, and Evan Schilling rounding out our 19 drivers out there on the speedway. So a lot of drivers playing some different strategies here with the fuel, with the tires, and everything else is going to make this a interesting end to the race. This is going to make things a little bit more fun. They have 3 total sets of tires here. Now, I don't know if that's 3 sets including the ones they start with or if that is 3 sets back behind pit wall. Nonetheless, obviously, we've seen a handful of drivers use one setup already. The other drivers that have not used that set of tires, they kind of have those in their back pocket. That could be something that they could use late in this race, or maybe after a 5-10 lap run, after a restart or something where we get another caution flag. They could come down pit road and then have those 5, 10, 15 lap better tires than the drivers in front of them that they could use to navigate their way up towards the front of the field here and maybe into a winning strategy here this evening. As right now it is Christian Schrader who hangs on to the race lead. Schrader not wanting to give it up, not wanting to back down or give these drivers any little bit of hope out there on the racetrack to try to work themselves into victory lane as we complete lap number 65. We got 90 laps of racing action left to go. Still 90 laps to duke it out, to find your way up here towards the front of the field, to find yourself a groove, a lane, a strategy, just anything to try to jump up here and compete for the win here tonight at Iowa Speedway. And Schrader now opens up about a 1.8-second gap between himself and Jackson Connell. Ryan Rose there in 3rd as he's able to work his way around Alex Ricci. Ricci going to fall back to 4th, but here comes that 67 ride as the fast house machine of Mr. Crank Wood Jr. going to try to get around him here as well. Bit of a gap back to Philip Toscano as Toscano there in position number 6 with Scott Rankin. Clinton Woodby now in 8th. Gregory Wood Sr. there in 9th, and Tristan Kyle has fallen all the way back now into the 10th position. So unfortunately for the 23, he's feeling the struggles here with the older tires after not taking tires during that first stage break and not coming back down pit road during the caution flag that ensued. The restart there after the stage, 23 starting to slide a little farther back here. Obviously has that extra set in his back pocket, though, where if he can catch a caution flag, not go a lap down, able to keep this car rolling here on the lead lap until the next wave of green flag pit stops, or by the time we see a caution flag, could earn himself an extra set of tires for late in the race, and that could be the winning strategy. But we could see this race go clean and green and not see another caution flag here throughout this race, where potentially they may not even get the chance to use that extra set of fresh tires. If they don't get that chance, unfortunately, the strategy's all for naught, and they just kind of put themselves into a hole running around the speedway for so long with older tires compared to our front runners here this evening, as Christian Strader continues to hold on to the top spot. About 2 seconds now between himself and Jackson Connell. 70 laps completed here in the race as the Reese's Pieces 29 ride out in front looks to continue to keep this car at the point, trying to keep all these guys back at bay as he leads this feature event. Man, this car is looking good, looking strong out there on the speedway, and he is looking like he wants to try to pick up his first win on the season. Strader out in front. We look back at some of those drivers that took no tires during this first stage, as we did see Scott Rankin take no tires. He's back in 7th. He's actually hanging on pretty solidly for the driver that won our first stage in the day to really only fall back about 6 positions since that restart. These tires for the 49 ride are hanging on really, really nicely compared to a driver that he was battling with that came home 3rd in that stage. When we look back at Tristan Kyle, he's been feeling that pain a little bit more as the 23 has slid back to the 11th position, and he's got drivers right on his back bumper. The 5 ride of Matt Hayden, the 6 of Rusty Modesty. Obviously, these guys are putting the pressure there too, and having older tires for the 23. He is definitely in a tough spot out there on the racetrack right now. You do see Jesse Calloway, Keith Prince right there, as well as Michael Yates back in 16th. Evan Schilling there in 17th, and Jesse Wise now rounding out our top 18 is Colton Hardy down and off the racetrack. Looks like Colton Hardy may be out of this race. You see the damage clock on this car. I don't know what may have happened here to him. I don't see anything on the list. Let's see if we can find a look here at it, see what may have happened potentially to this number 97 ride. So he's got the damage repair symbol. I don't know if that's for actual damage on the race car, or if it was a connection issue, or if it was just a bit of a glitch in the matrix here for this 97 machine. Obviously having some struggles here connection wise, blinking quite heavily out there on the racetrack, and it may have been iRacing just giving him the black flag virtually for having these connection issues and taking this 97 ride off of the speedway. This could be a heartbreaker for the winning bid 97 machine. Obviously just trying to survive, trying to keep this car, in the hunt here, and it looks like, yeah, definitely gets removed right there. I don't know if he alt F4'd or if something else catastrophic may have happened to that 97 machine, but that is a tough break there for Colton Hardy and for all the Hardy fans in the stands here this evening. It's Sean's Detail. What's good, Sean? Sean coming in, dropping that thumbs up here on the broadcast. How are you, Sean? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful day. Hopefully you're having yourself a great Friday night, as out in front, it's been a good Friday night so far for the Reese's Pieces number 29 of Christian Strader, and Strader continues to lead this race, still out in front, keeping all these guys back there at bay. He wants to keep himself right here at the point, does not want to fall back any farther, does not want to have any other issues, just wants to continue to keep himself at the point, out of trouble, and continue to try to win tonight's feature event. And now that we're kind of getting back into the swing of things with the long green flag run, obviously cautions breed cautions. We saw that quick one after the stage break. Now that we've kind of gotten things a little bit more cycle back through, guys are a little bit more strung out there on the speedway. They're not right on top of each other. We're really starting to see some good green flag laps being laid down, and we're over halfway through this feature event. We're already working inside the lap 80s here this evening, so we're inching closer and closer to virtually being about, 2/3 of the way through this feature event here in the next 15-20 laps of this feature event. So they're clicking them off in a quick hurry here this evening at Iowa Speedway, and it's still this 29 ride out in front of the field, still about a 2-second gap between himself and Jackson Connell. Ryan Rose there in third with Greg Wood Jr. and Alex Ricci rounding out our top 5 here on the racetrack. And as we do jump on board here, let's see if we can get a good look here on board for a lap here with this 67 ride of Greg Wood Jr. Down into corner number 1, here he comes. Alrighty, well, soon as we see these guys starting to battle, starting to duke it out, and we jump on board for a lap around the racetrack with Greg Wood Jr., we see the caution flag fly. So it looks like issues here for Evan Schilling. Schilling was running quite a bit deeper in the field. It may even start with the 4 ride here, as it looks like the 4 of potentially, I do believe that is the 4 of Jesse Calloway. Nope, oh, contact right there from the 23 ride. Oh no, this is a tough hit right here, and it looks like the 23 gonna get a piece of the 18 ride of Schilling. Let's take another look at it. So Schilling works to the inside of the 23 ride, and it looks like out of corner number 4, the 23 gonna bounce it off the outside fence, shoots down the racetrack. He's trying to get it straight and out, and unfortunately ends up hooking the 18 of Evan Schilling and sends Schilling up and into the outside fence right there. Big hit for that Mobile 1 radar scope ride. And then the Miller Genuine Draft number 93 also going to get a big piece of him right there. Heavy damage for Michael Yanks. Heavy damage for the 18 ride of Evan Schilling. Contact as the 23 bounces off the wall, bounces down into the 18 ride. Definitely a tough spot. We've seen the 23 obviously struggling with fuel and tires and everything else, and obviously the 23 has been falling backwards. He was battling somewhere around position 16, 17 out there on the racetrack as this contact was made. Let's see if we can take another look at it. So the 23 ride here of Tristan Kyle gonna wash up the track here on corner exit, bounces it off the wall, down into the 18 ride. Big hit there for him. Pretty good damage as well for that beautiful 23 ride, as the Ray-Ban machine will try to get rolling out there on the racetrack. Unfortunately, he does get a black flag here as everyone comes down pit road. Tristan Kyle does get a black flag. It does get cleared, so I do believe he will stay on the lead lap. He will have to go to the back of the pack here. Rusty Modesty also at the back of the pack, as I do believe the number 6 ride had come down pit road just before this caution flag. So for the 6 ride of Rusty Modesty, it come down pit road around lap number 79. And unfortunately for the 6 machine, looking for the wave around here, hasn't gotten it. I do believe he was the first and only car that was a lap down, but he's not getting the lucky dog. No free pass here for that 6 ride. I do believe he may stay a lap down here on the racetrack. We'll have to wait and see how this gets played out for the 6 ride, as he was a lap down out there on the speedway. We do see Jesse Wise coming back down pit road. We do see obviously Tristan Kyle back there as well. Michael Yanks as well in the 93 ride, as Greg Wood Jr. will take over the race lead. Now, Greg Wood Jr. did not come down pit road there on lap 83 like everybody else. Everyone virtually came down pit road on lap number 83, and unfortunately that's going to put a lot of these guys into a tough spot. We do see Tristan Kyle coming back down pit road. We did see Matt Hayden also down pit road there on lap number 79. So I'm assuming that probably Matt Hayden had received the lucky dog back on the lead lap. For Rusty Modesty, he was still a lap down behind Matt Hayden and did not get that free pass, the lucky dog there. So he's going to be looking and hoping to find a quick caution flag here to try to get himself right back into the action here this evening. evening as Greg Wood Jr. out in front of the field here has the race lead. How is the 67 ride going to try to hold these guys off after some pretty hard racing for the 67? Definitely burning up those tires a lot more than the other drivers, and then we gotta wonder about who has fresh tires, who's got older tires, and who may put themselves into a position here to steal this race lead away from us. Here we go, great restart down low. We don't see a bunch of tire spin throughout the field, so it looks like everyone able to keep their cars pointing the right direction, but normally these cautions can breed cautions, so we could see a couple quick ones here in this second half of the race as Greg Wood Jr. hangs on to the race lead here. Great restart there for the 67, hangs on to the race lead. Jackson Connell back there in second, and there is the caution flag. So the yellow flag will be displayed as we do see the 69 ride, the Shitty Coolers machine, that Toyota Supra, absolutely tore up out there on the racetrack. Heavy front end damage. We did see Gregory Woods Sr. also turned around. He's looking that car right down pit road here and off the racetrack. Let's take a look back and see what happens here, because obviously there's some contact, some issues. See if it starts with Greg Wood Sr. here, and that's exactly where it looks. So I'm not sure if he just gets in there too deep. Looks like that's the case. Gets in there, gets on the binder, sliding sideways as he's spinning sideways here. Everyone's doing a great job trying to avoid him, and looks like the 87 just able to get around him. There's the 3 ride just avoiding him. He washes down the racetrack, and unfortunately for the Shitty Cooler 69 ride of Jesse Wise, unfortunately gets a big piece of him right there. Heavy contact into the 13 machine. Tears up both cars, man. Heavy damage to both the 69 and the 13 ride, and unfortunately for the pair, that may unfortunately end the night for the 13 machine. We saw him early on getting turned into the inside fence. Ended up with some very heavy front or rear end damage. Had to use his quick repair up early in this feature event, and now getting tied up in another big incident. This may keep him down pit road for an extended period of time, and potentially may even take him out of this race. That was a heavy hit to that left front, and I'm sure the whole front suspension going to be absolutely tore to pieces, and that's why he took that car right down pit road, and he may be down there for the rest of the night. Now, luckily enough for the Shitty Coolers, number 69 ride of Jesse Wise. Wise does have that quick repair, so he's able to get that car instantly fixed, back out there onto the racetrack and back into the battle here this evening. As now we start to get into that area of fuel mileage and really where these guys can go with a tank of fuel. Obviously, we see Greg Wood Jr. staying in on the racetrack again here. Does not come back down pit road. Now, last time he was down pit side was lap number 42. Now, he does have about, I'm going to say, probably about 10 laps of that run under yellow, so you can save a little bit of fuel during these yellow flags. Obviously, you're still burning some during 10 laps, but really mainly burn 5 laps of fuel throughout those 10 laps of yellow flag racing. So potentially for Greg Wood Jr., he has ran almost 40 plus laps here throughout this run. So for the 67 ride, fuel could be getting very tight. We'll have to see how far he can really stretch a tank of fuel here at Iowa Speedways. Brian Underwood, what's good, Mr. Underwood? Says Peacemaker, the GOAT. Brian Underwood, the mother fluffing GOAT, coming in showing the love here in this one as we go back to green flag racing as Greg Wood Jr. gets another good restart, clears that 39 of Jackson Connell, slides right in front of him, and already down and out of 1 and 2, able to open up a couple car length lead here. He's trying to keep all these guys back there at bay as Jackson Connell, Christian Schrader roll back there in second and third. Scott Rankin in position number 4 and looking for more, and so isn't Alex Ricci. As Ricci rolls there in that 5th position, working down to the inside of that 49 ride. Here comes Clinton Woodby, Joe Yates right there, and there's another caution flag. Another yellow flag out on the speedway. I do believe this time for the number 4 ride of Jesse Calloway here. Let's take a look back at it. So Calloway kind of in the middle here. The 23 takes a look down to the inside, and Tristan Kyle going to get in there, gets a piece of the 4 machine, and unfortunately, that just gets him sideways, then up into the fence. iRacing going to throw that caution flag, and fortunately, there's some more contact, some more carnage out there on the speedway, and another restart here to kind of get things underway, trying to get things rolling again as the 23 sends it in there deep. I'm not sure if the 4Y was really expecting it, and then obviously Like, you're trying to clear down to the inside here for the 4 of Jesse Calloway. He's going to be able to make this corner as well. So he's coming down already, obviously trying to get set into the corner. He does leave enough room down low for the 23. Obviously, it's just a tough angle to get down into the corner. And for the 23 ride, Tristan Kyle just not giving him enough room right there, or the 4 not giving Tristan enough room. Obviously, it's the 4's job to try to keep the 23 back at bay. For the 23 of Tristan Kyle, it's his job not to run into the car in front of him or to his outside, whether or not you're trying to make a pass, if he's pinching you. Fortunately for the 23, gets a piece of that 4 ride, and it does bring the caution flag out. Now, lucky break there for the 69 ride. For the 6 of Modesties, they're both able to avoid running into the 4 machine. Some pretty solid right rear damage, though, for Jesse Calloway, but everyone else doing a great job avoiding him, not putting themselves into a position where they end up with a ton of damage, as caution flag will come back out. That inches us closer here to lap 100 here this evening. So we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. This race is clicking off in a quick hurry as we get closer and closer to our checkered flag here today. And it's going to be a lot of fun to see who's going to have the strategy, who's going to have the game plan, the tires, the fuel, whatever it may be to try to put yourself into victory lane. As we get ready to go back, green flag racing here in just a couple more moments. I do believe, now the lights are still on the official iRacing pace car, so it looks like we're going to get at least one more lap here under yellow, so bear with us as we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing in just a couple more laps. We'll get ready to go back to duking it out to see what these guys can do, to see where they can try to slide themselves into, if they can try to make a couple moves, if they can try to put themselves into a winning situation or not. As there we go, the lights are now turned off, the official iRacing pace car. So we've gotten the one to go down out at corner number 2. So we are going back to green flag racing, and as we go back to green flag racing, we will jump into our Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank up that volume, cheer on your favorite drivers as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. 60 laps left to go here in this race, and let's crank it up! contact and a caution flag. Oh, baby, you got a great look at it. Great look at the yellow flag right there as contact. We see the 67 ride down onto the apron here, obviously getting contact prior to hitting the apron and then getting up the racetrack, collecting Rusty Modesty now with a lot of damage for that 67 ride. He'll definitely have to come down pit road now to get fuel, get tires, get everything else that he may need, but it looks like maybe even a little bit of 3 wide. I'm not sure. He's definitely struggling here, obviously on the older tires, falling back, and now we see Alex Ricci and the 5 rider Matt Hayden right there, and it looks like Hayden gives him a shot to the rear end and just shoots this car down the racetrack. Normally when you would make that contact, normally when you get that bump, if it launched you forward, you really wouldn't lose the handle of the car, but I think the 67 already trying to just keep this thing under control. That hit shoots him down the racetrack. He tries to correct it, tries to save it, and then gets sideways in doing so and trying to get that thing just pointed the right direction. Hits the apron, car washes back up the racetrack. He's still trying to get control of it, and then it just washes up into the 6th rider Rusty Modesty. Modesty nowhere to go in the Sinclair Dyno Care ride. Ends up with some pretty solid contact right there. So does in the Fast House 67 ride as they come to a halt here in corner number 3 and 4 for another caution flag. And now drivers they're going to be, probably coming down pit road. We see a lot of them making their way down pit side, including Scott Rankin, Clinton Woodby, Matt Hayden, Jackson Connell, Christian Strader, Rusty Modesty down pit side. Here comes Jesse Wise, Greg Wood Jr. down there, obviously getting that car repaired and getting fuel and tires into his machine. Philip Toscano also down pit side. Jesse Calloway down pit road as Greg Wood Sr. does roll back out onto the racetrack. Unfortunately here for Greg Wood Sr., he is about 10 laps or so down out there on the racetrack. Definitely not a night that he wanted to have here this evening. Lots of contact, and unfortunately for Colton Hardy, he is down pit road and unfortunately is pretty much out of this race. He is over 40 laps down here on the evening after having some connection issues and having to take that car off of the racetrack for so long. Puts him into a tough spot. But we do see the 23 ride, the West Virginia 23 of Tristan Kyle consumed the race lead. Now he was down pit road on lap number 88. The 6 drivers back behind him were down pit road on lap number 83, so he's got a little bit more fuel than those guys. But for all these other cats, Scott Rankin, Clinton Woodby, Matt Hayden, a lot of these other drivers, it really starts to bring into question what their fuel mileage may look like here for the rest of this feature event. Fuel could definitely become a major factor. These guys may be very, very close. If they can make it 47 laps or so to a tank of fuel, then they should be able to make it to the end of this race, especially if we get another caution flag or 2 where they can save a little extra fuel. They should be able to get to the end without having to come back down pit road. For drivers like Tristan Kyle, Alex Ricci, Joe Yanks, Ryan Rose, Keith Prince, Evan Schilling, and Michael Yanks, who is now into the 7th position, fuel may still be an issue for them. That may still be something that they will have to use here and maybe have to make a green flag pit stop before the end of this race. If we get another timely caution flag, potentially they could come down pit road and take that fuel and just give up the track position, but they're going to have to try to battle their way back through a lot of fierce competitors out there on the speedway. As we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing, we'll get ready to start duking it out here again this evening. We'll go back to our Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up as the Ray-Ban Country Roars West Virginia number 23 ride of Tristan Kyle will get ready. See that green flag fly. So Tristan Kyle down and out at corner number 4. We'll see the green flag and we go back to our Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up here this evening. Caution flag will come back out here as we try to go back to green flag racing. Another yellow flag will ensue as we see the 39 ride down the inside here on the back bumper of Clinton Woodby. The car we're going to look at is stuck in the middle though. The other orange car here in frame, the 29 ride, the Reese's Pieces machine, as I do believe we're going to see Yeah, there's the 39 right, gets loose here, trying to hold that car down on that white line. He gets to the back end of the 92, and as he does, he just kind of gets into the back end of Woodby, gets loose, washes up the racetrack, ends up pile driving the 29 right, who just really was in the wrong place at the wrong time, ends up with some pretty solid contact. Same with the 6 of Rusty Modesty as the 29 goes around after getting hit, then washing up the racetrack into the number 6 right. Modesty and Schrader ended up with some pretty solid contact. And for the 29 right, turned around, pointed the wrong direction here. That will bring the caution flag out. Obviously stopped now onto the racetrack. Definitely not a spot that he wants to be, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here in just a couple more moments. We'll get ready to duke it out once again as Black Phoenix 843. What's good, man? How are ya? Black Phoenix coming in, showing the love here in this one. How you doing? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful Friday night as we get ready to go back to battle. Black Phoenix as well. If you're watching, if you're tuning in, brother, hit me up, man. I haven't played Fortnite in a very, very long time, and I've been thinking about trying to get back into it a little bit, man. It's been probably about a year since the last time I, picked up the controller and played Fortnite. But you know what, man? I've been kind of thinking about it the last little while, and it's been a long time since I played any Fort, and it would be fun to see kind of what Fortnite's looking like right now, where it's at for a game and everything else, and maybe have a little bit of fun on one of these, streams on another night here on Peacemaker Gaming to have a little bit of extra fun here in the broadcast. As we'll get them all ready to rumble, we'll get them all ready to go back to battle here in this one, as we should get the green flag here. I'm not sure when we're going to get it. The lights are still on the official iRacing pace car, so we have not gotten the one to go as of yet. There it is. So the one to go is out here. We will go back to green flag racing in just another little bit here, as I do believe this will complete lap number 115. Meaning that we got 40 laps of racing action left to go here. 40 laps left here this evening. Now, we did see Philip Toscano down pit side. We saw Christian Schrader, Rusty Modesty down pit road, so a couple of these guys have a little bit more fuel, may be able to make it to the end. As here we go, getting ready to go back to green flag racing and back to our Peacemaker Gaming. Crank it up for probably about the next, 5-6 laps here. Get a quick little drink in as we get back to green flag. Alrighty, so the caution flag does come back out. We did get a great look at it as the number 5 ride of Matt Hayden goes for a bit of a slide down and out of corner number 4 here. Let's take a look at him as he shoots it down into 3 and trying to get a big run out of 4. It looks like he loses the rear end. Car kicks out and around on him, goes down into the infield here, and as he hits the infield, the car, I do believe, just right there, kind of getting sideways. I don't know if they still count that as pit road or not, but it does throw the caution flag, and we will go back here to another restart as Matt Hayden goes for a slide there all by himself. Lucky break for him as the yellow flag does get thrown. He'll be able to tag on to the tail end of the field, and now it opens up another window here on what fuel's going to look like for these drivers. And obviously now with so many caution flags, they are able to save more and more fuel, put themselves into a position that maybe they don't have to come back down pit road, even for some of these drivers that may have pitted back on lap 88, like Tristan Kyle or Keith Prince, Alex Ricci, who were down pit road on lap number 83. But it does start to bring into the idea of, who's got tires left here in this race, who's got that extra gear and the extra tires back behind pit road that they can use to their advantage here late in the evening, as it could be a difference maker on, being able to come home in a top 10 or a top 5 run, or potentially having the race winning strategy with those extra tires back there behind pit road for late in this race. And now that we've seen, a bunch of these cautions continue to breed cautions, it brings into the question mark, if you do do have those extra sets, when do you use them? When do you come down pit road and put them on? When is too early? When is too late to try to use them here to your advantage in this last, couple handfuls of laps here in this feature event is down across the line. They will complete lap number 119. That puts lap 120 up onto the board, and virtually that's about, 36 laps left to go here in this race. So we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here in a quick hurry. And for these drivers, this is the area where you just cannot make a mistake. You don't want to make a mistake, get high in one of these corners, have tire spin on a restart, something that loses you, a bunch of track positions and obviously a bunch of time out there on the speedway. Because if we go clean and green, they can click off these 30 laps or so in a quick hurry here this evening, as we'll get them ready to go back to battle. We'll get ready to duke it out here this evening as the 23 ride of Tristan Kyle will get ready to see the green flag fly once again as he heads down and out of corner number 4. The pace car will make that hard left-hand turn back down pit side. He will get ready for another big restart here as he's going to get the jump again on Keith Prince. Quickly puts that car into gear and drives away from the 3 right. Opens up a couple car length lead as they're already 3 wide. Back behind him as here comes Scott Rankin. Rankin using that third groove and able to pick off a couple cars down through 1 and 2. Quickly slides into that second spot, hoping to hunt down this 23 ride and trying to put himself back to the point here in Iowa as the 34 of Mr. Ricci trying to hold on to position number 5. He's got that 92 to his outside. Now here comes the 39 ride of Jackson Connell. Connell right there as well. Here comes Ryan Rose. Here comes that fast house number 67 of Greg Wood Jr. and some of the drivers that came down pit road there on lap 108 have probably the better tires. The more fuel in their rides are starting to navigate their way back up towards the front of the field here, starting to pick them off as Tristan Kyle going to try his best here to hold them off. Unfortunately, here comes the 49 ride. Gets a great run out of corner number 2, gets that left rear quarter panel, able to put himself into a solid drive here as nice try, Brennan Clay. I'm not going to say that. That's a good try on that one. Good try on that one. As Scott, though, has the race lead, able to take it away from that 23 machine. A heck of a run right there for Scott Rankin as Tristan Kyle slides back into second. Here comes Clinton Woodby. Jackson Connell now trying to hold on to position number 4 as Greg Wood Jr. works down to his inside. Greg Wood trying to work his way into position number 4 as Jackson Connell continues to look for more. Keith Prince slides back to 6th with Ryan Rose. They're in 7th. Christian Strader, who qualified in the pole position, led a lot of laps here this evening. Got tied up in one of our last couple caution flags for the 29. The Reese's Pieces machine trying to work his way back up towards the front of the field here as Alex Ricci rolls there in 9th. Matt Hayden in position number 10. Philip Toscano back in position number 11. Is Toscano there in position number 11? He's got Rusty Modesty, who's just kind of had a rough go here in this race. And now we do see the caution flag come back out as Tristan Kyle, who was losing a couple spots there, had just lost the race lead, goes around. Let's take a look back at it as we see the 92 obviously down to his inside, able to complete that pass down into corner number 1, but he's got his teammate, the 39 ride, all over his back bumper on the straightaway, and then down into corner number 1 and 2. His own teammate, the 39 ride of Jackson Connell, going to give him a shot, knocks that car loose. He's going to go around, comes to a stop here down on the bottom side of corner number 2, and that will throw the caution flag. So for the 23 machine, definitely not a spot he wanted to be. Now going to lose a bunch of track position, but may open up the door here for maybe making a pit stop here. Maybe has a set of tires back behind pit wall that he may be able to throw on and use to his advantage late in this race. So we did see Matt Hayden start to work his way back up there after bringing up the last caution flag. Philip Toscano right there as well. He's been working his way back up towards the top 10 as we do see Keith Prince heads down pit road. So does Joe Yakes, Evan Schilling also down pit side. Here comes Tristan Kyle also down pit road as a lot of these drivers that hadn't taken that kind of lap 100, lap 108 area. They did not come down pit road. I think the only one, or it looks like there's 2, 3 that still have not come back down pit road since then. Ryan Rose, last down pit road on lap 83. Alex Ricci also down pit road on lap 83. For Michael Yates, he was down pit sign on lap number 84. Everyone else has made a pit stop since then, back towards lap 108, lap 113, lap 118, through a few of these caution flags. A lot of these other drivers have had that extra bit of fuel, may not have to make another pit stop here in this feature event. So obviously this may help them, may hurt them. Obviously, for some of them, the track position may be more beneficial than potentially, the fuel or the tires may get them here this late into the race. So we'll have to wait and see what Ryan Rose and Alex's plan is here this evening and how they're going to try to keep themselves inside the top 5 and the top 10 here throughout this race, or if they take a later caution flag and a later pit stop to try to give themselves that advantage. As we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back down to back to green flag racing here as the 23 of Tristan Kyle, the 3 of Keith Prince, and the 18 of Evan Schilling are back out on the racetrack after making their pit stops there on lap 127. They're going to look to try to get back into the battle here. Same with Joey Yakes back there on the 87. So they may have the fresher tires now out there on the racetrack. We may be seeing them slice and dice their way up and through the field here, trying to navigate their way back up towards the point here, especially for Tristan Kyle. He did have the race lead just as we went back to green flag racing there. Had lost it to the number 49 of Scott Rankin. Had been passed for second by Clinton Woodby and was at risk of losing a few more spots before getting tanked, turned around, and having that caution flag fly there for him. But now here we go, back to green flag racing. Who's going to be able to get it done here? Not a lot of laps left here in this race, and they're already 3 wide for position number 2. As Scott Rankin gets a great jump and a great restart there. The 49 right out in front opens up about 4 or 5 car lengths down into corner number 3. So the 49 right just trying to run away with it as quick as possible, trying to build a big enough lead that no one can catch him. But here comes that 67 of Greg Wood Jr. Greg working his way back up towards the front, the 67 right, able to complete the pass here on Clinton Woodby. Woodby slides into position number 3 as we see Jackson Connell there in 4th. Here comes Ryan Rose. Rose just trying to hang on to that 5th position as Christian Strader, Matt Hayden right there behind him. Hayden, he definitely had a extra set of tires back there behind pit wall. He may have used them, and he's looking to try to abuse them here, trying to slice and dice his way up towards the top 5 here for the first time this evening for that Razor Toyota as he rolls right now in the 7th position. Christian Schrader, our pole sitter, looking down low, trying to make the pass here on Ryan Rose. This is for that 5th position as out in front, Scott Rankin will click off another lap as 132 laps completed here this evening. We get closer and closer to our checkered flag, but we look back here deeper in the field. The fresher tires may be paying off. Here's the 23 of Tristan Kyle starting to work his way right back into the picture here. We talked about how some of these drivers may have had an extra set back there behind pit wall, and for Tristan Kyle, he's able to quickly work his way here into position number 6, getting around Matt Hayden, getting around Ryan Rose, and now inside the top 5 as he completes the pass here on that 29 right of Christian Strader. So Strader slides back to 6 here, and Tristan Kyle back inside the top 5. Has the better tires out there on the racetrack, and he is using them as he has worked his way from dang near the back of the pack, almost back in the last position in the 17th spot here for the restart, and all of a sudden we find him right here inside the top 4 and continue to look for more as he now completes the pass on the 92 of Clinton Woodby. It wasn't long ago, it was only about 8 laps ago, we saw this number 23 ride getting passed by that 92 for the 2nd position out there on the racetrack. And obviously getting tagged, went around, brought the caution flag out there for the 23, and obviously it works out perfectly for him as he's able to put the new tires on and drive his way right back into the battle. But now with the better tires, he's the car on attack and not the one falling back out there on the racetrack, as now moves into position number 3 as Jackson Connell now back into 4th here. Scott Rankin hangs on the race lead. Greg Wood Jr. there in 2nd, but I don't know if any of these two have anything left in the tank for this 23 ride as he he's slicing and dicing his way up and through the field. As Max Koss, what's good, Max? Max, how are you, brother? Coming in, showing the love here in this one. How's your Friday going, brother? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful day as we get these guys continuing to roll out here on the Speedway. Scott Rankin trying to just hopefully have enough here that he can hold off this 23, but I'm not sure if he's going to, because Tristan Kyle has just been working his way quickly to the back bumper of the 49 run. He will make quick work of that 67 of Greg Wood Jr. Gonna drag race down the back straightaway into corner number 3. He's hoping that he can clear this 67, which he will, and he's already glued right to the back bumper of the 49 run, and that just shows you the difference on the tires here. The new tires compared to the old tires, and for the 49 ride, Scott Rankin, he's gonna have his hands full trying to keep this 23 ride back there at bay, and as I said, I don't think he's going to have anything for him. The newer tires are just so dominant here at Iowa, even after just, 20 laps of racing action on the older tires of the 49, and it's going to be nothing for the 23 to be able to jump up, take that race lead back away. Tristan Kyle now out in front, so the 23 ride takes the point once again, now has the race lead, able to keep the 49 ride back there at bay, but here comes Scott Rankin. He says, you know what, I'm not done yet. I'm going to give it everything I got. He's going to try to make another pass here. He works down to the inside. They get tight down out at corner number 4, but it is the number 23 of Tristan Kyle easily able to clear the 49 and has this race lead. Now he'll look to try to hold off this 49 ride for the next 15 laps of racing action as we're getting down to the very end of this one in a quick hurry. We did see Rusty Modesty unfortunately make his way back down pit road and off of the racetrack here. So Rusty Modesty looks like his night may come to a close back in the 17th position. For Tristan Kyle, he is feeling fine here at the front of the field, has a good lead now, already about half a second, almost 6/10 now, between himself and the 49 red of Scott Rankin. Greg Wood Jr. there in third, Jackson Connell back in position number 4, and continue to look for more as he's got Christian Strader right there behind him in that 5th position. Joe Yanks, another driver that came down pit road there on lap 127, has worked his way into that 6th position, trying to hang on to it here as Clinton Woodby trying to battle back down to his inside. Keith Prince, also another driver, down pit road during that last caution flag, able to put on fresher tires. He's worked his way now into 8th. Obviously, not being able to work themselves as quickly through the traffic, and it has definitely hurt their runs here this evening as they do not have the same fate as that 23 of Tristan Kyle, who's got the race lead. He's sitting in the catbird seat and hoping that he does not see another caution flag. He does not want to see another yellow flag be displayed, or if he does, he at least wants it to be a late race restart where maybe it's a 2-lap shootout and it's enough for him to hold these guys off. As Max says, how many races are left in the season? I'm just chilling. Hey, we love that, man. Nothing wrong with just chilling. I do believe there is still, I want to say there's 7 or 8 races left in their regular season, plus 7 races in their playoffs, so there's still about 14 races or so, 14, 15 races left in the season. I do believe they only have about 4 weeks off throughout the holidays for Halloween, Thanksgiving, and one for Christmas and New Year's. But really still pretty early in the season. I do believe this is race number 6 now on the season here for the Full Throttle Outlaws. I'm not sure if they're taking any more drivers, but if you want, shoot me a message over on Discord, Max, and I can shoot you there on Discord, and you can try to jump in there and see if there is an opening or sign up for the next season to come. As Tristan Kyle out in front will click off lap number 146, and we only get 9 more laps left to go here. 9 more laps here in this one. As K-Dub, Kevin Winker in the chat as well, says, wish I could be out there tonight, but busted my thumb with a hammer tonight. Laugh out loud. What a dummy I am, he says. Oh, brother, that's rough. That's rough. Hey, man, I've been there. I've done that. It's definitely not fun. That is for certain. Luckily enough, I don't have to race these things. I only got to use my index finger to be able to click buttons to be able to move around and show you guys all the action out there on the Speedway. So that's definitely a heartbreaker. Hopefully it'll be, a little bit more healed up and a little bit more manageable, and hopefully we'll see you back out there for Monday night and maybe even back out here next Friday for this series as well. As Tristan Kyle hoping to try to find victory lane again here in the Full Throttle Outlaws. As Scott Rankin back in second, and about 1.5 seconds back of that 23 machine. About a second and a bit between him and our third place driver as there's a little contact. Look out, 67, hard contact into the outside fence. the 67 slow on the Speedway? Is there gonna be a caution flag? Nothing yet. The 67 able to keep it rolling, but there it is. Caution flag will be displayed. So contact back there for position number 3 between Greg Wood Jr. and Jackson Connell. And we do see a late race yellow flag. As here we go. Big move down to the inside. 39 ride sends it in there. Runs into the back end of that 67 ride. And unfortunately for the Fast House Machine, really not a whole lot that he could do. Just trying to hang on to this thing. See if we can get another angle at it. Here we go. Down into corner number 1. Both drivers trying to make the corner. 39 sends it in there. Deep down low. And a little neck cone, maybe a little contact nonetheless, but obviously we see the 39 kind of sideways as he's getting into the corner here as well. So maybe pulling the wheel hard to the left, trying to make that big turn. All of a sudden kind of just put him into this little bit of a slide. That's where the contact may have came. And obviously we see the 67 getting some contact there. From the 87 to Joe Yates. Joe, really nothing he could do there. Obviously, car sideways, virtually parked in front of him. Gives him a shot, shoots him up the racetrack. Hard contact into the outside fence. Big damage on 3 corners of that race car. And slow on the racetrack, just trying to keep it rolling. See everyone moving down low out of the way. But that does bring out the yellow flag. So a late race restart here this evening. Now it's a big question about, you know, who may risk it for the brisket. Does somebody have tires left over? Does somebody have something left that they can use to be able to work themselves up here and maybe into victory lane? We saw how quickly the 23 ride was able to work his way through traffic. If there's a few tankers, if there's a few drivers now, maybe they got enough that they can jump down pit road and try to make the gamble, especially if you're already sitting outside the top, 10 right now, maybe even sitting outside the top 5. Do you take that gamble? Do you think you can work yourself back up towards the front of the field quick enough to be able to make some passes and put yourself into that position? As of right now, doesn't look like there's that many takers. We do see Greg Wood Jr. obviously coming in pit side. He's going to get some major repairs done to that 67 machine. Obviously a lot of damage on this car. He's got to hope that he's got a quick repair down there, as he's definitely going to need it, and I don't think he's going to use it. Gets a black flag down pit side as well. He'll tow that car back down to his pit stall, and I do believe that may be all she wrote here tonight for the 67 ride. Tough break there for him. So Tristan Kyle will get ready for a late race restart. Scott Rankin, has he got something left in the tank, or is Tristan just going to be able to nail this restart and run away with this one? He was already running away with it with the fresher tires, but now has that 49 down to his inside. Jackson Connell, Joe Yates, Clinton Would be the 3 rider, Keith Prince, Christian Schrader, and everyone else back there in tow, trying to beat the 23 ride here this evening to the checker flag. We'll see if anybody can get it done, as it will be about a 3-lap shootout. As here we go, green flag back out into the air, and a little bit of tire spin in that second row. The 23 ride though with a great launch, and for Tristan Kyle able to quickly jump out in front, clears the 49 ride. Here comes Joey Yates. He's going to work the outside groove here. He's trying to jump up into position number 2 as we see Schrader get up into the outside fence there a little bit. That may hurt his run here, as we do see the 87 staying glued to the outside here of Scott Rankin, and it looks like Joe Yates may edge out in front here and steal position number 2 away from that 8:49 ride with only a couple laps left to go. Does Joe Yates have something left in the tank? Can Joe Yates jump up here and maybe steal the race win away from Tristan Kyle? He's running out of time, and Kyle has about a 4/10 of a second lead. Is down and out of corner number 4, back down to the start finish line. No more late race restarts. The white flag has been displayed the final time around here at Iowa Speedway, as the winning bid, 155, about to come to a close. Tristan Kyle takes us down the back straightaway for the final time into corner number 3. Nice and easy out at corner number 4. There's contact back behind him, but it's the 23 of Tristan Kyle who's able to get it done here at Iowa Speedway, as he parks the 23 up and in to victory lane here on this beautiful Friday night, as Tristan Kyle picks up the win in, it's Joe Yakes back in second. It's Scott Rankin rounding out our top three here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for all these drivers. Let's get some GGs up into the chat. Let's see some congratulations for our race winner, the 23 of Tristan Kyle, as he's able to get it done and pull himself up and in to victory lane here in this one, man. What a drive as he gets to celebrate here on the front straightaway. We'll get ready to pull him up into the broadcast booth and the rest of our top three for their post-race interviews here this evening. His post-race interviews about to come up next. We're about to get these guys in here for post-race interviews in a quick hurry. We'll have to wait and see when they slide in here and be able to kind of get a look and hear what they got to say, what they're feeling here after what was a very exciting end to this race. Let's see if we can pull the 23 ride up here into the booth right now as the Ignite Motorsports ride picks up the dub. Hey Tristan, it's Aaron up here on the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
How you doing, man? How you doing?
Not too bad, Tristan, man. What a run. What a drive. Take us back through this one. Obviously, a little bit of ups and downs throughout the night for you, but you kind of get blessed after contact from your own teammate spins you around here with, about 30 laps left to go in this race. Luckily enough, though, after getting turned around, you got an extra set of tires back there behind pit wall. You're able to put them on, and you quickly work yourself back up through all the traffic, make some passes, get out in front, and even with a couple late race restarts, you're able to hold off Scott Rankin and the rest of the supporting cast back there behind you as you pull this 23 back up into victory lane, man. Take us through it and what's going through your mind right now as you're able to celebrate here in Iowa.
A lot. I just want to say first and foremost, sorry to the 18. I took him out, I think halfway to the race, maybe. It hit the wall and wiped him out. That was my fault. On old tires, screwing around, but I do feel bad about that. And if he's listening, I apologize. But yeah, anyways, after the 39 got me, I thought it was over, to be honest with you. I thought I was too far back, and I thought those guys had fresh enough tires to kind of even out a little bit on the run. So I was pleasantly surprised that last set got me up to the front, but I'll take it. That was a really rough race. A lot of yellows, a lot of incidents, a lot of anchored people after the race here, and apparently, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, Iowa, it's the short track. It brings out some fireworks, and obviously, here midway kind of through the regular season, frustrations can really start to boil over on a short track like Iowa, and it's kind of the same as Bristol, which is only a few weeks away. You got Phoenix there as well, or Pocono actually. So Pocono, at least we got a little bit of breathing room there. In a few weeks, we head to Bristol, so definitely some fireworks over the next few weeks here in the Full Throttle Outlaws, because man, these short tracks, they can bring out either the best or the worst in people, and obviously frustrations can run at a high here, and you gotta really just kind of take every punch as you kind of go. You don't want to lose your cool. You don't want to get too hot out there, because you end up running into more issues. You end up running into more mistakes, and that kind of just compounds the anger that some of these guys have out there, man. How do you kind of deal with it? We saw you run into a couple of issues, obviously, there between the 18 ride, your own teammate out there. How do you kind of just keep your head in the game and not lose your cool out there on the racetrack?
Sometimes you just have to take it and move on, I was pretty mad after 39 got me, I can't lie. I know it's kind of an older set, but we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But yeah, like I said, I thought it was over. I was kind of just gonna put the set on and take what I could, It's what can you do at the end of the race like that? So, yep, we'll take it. Two of my worst tracks I've won on, so I don't know how this is happening.
I don't know if they're your worst tracks or not. And I don't know, you take everything you can get. And here tonight, man, you're able to take it all as you park that number 23 up here into victory lane. Tristan, who would you like to thank for another great run and strong performance out there on the racetrack?
I thank Scott for running me clean there at the end. He and I both ran pretty good through the whole race. Yeah, other than that, we'll take it. We'll move on to Pocono next week and see where it goes.
Absolutely, mister. Well, we can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack. Pocono coming up next, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth.
All right, thank you very much. Have a good night.
You as well. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Tristan Kyle, as Tristan picks up the dub here this evening. Now we'll get ready to pull in our second place finisher here on the night, the number 87, Joe Yakes. What a run here for Joe. Let's get him up here into the booth. Hey, Joe, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
Sure do. How you doing this evening?
Not too bad, Joe, man. What a run. What a race, man. Take us back through this one. Obviously, a bit of an up-and-down day for yourself here, but late in this one, the same as Tristan Kyle. You have that extra set of tires back there behind pit wall. You're able to use them to your advantage as you slowly made your way up through the top 10, into the top 5 there, and then obviously with that late race caution flag, you're able to jump up, steal position number 2 away from Scott Rankin, and put yourself here into a solid second-place run here this evening. Take us back through what's going through your mind right now.
Well, I'm just happy to kind of get the momentum going in the right direction. It's been a bit of a struggle the past couple of weeks, but second place here and just one spot shy. I'll take it. I'm super happy with that. It was I knew going into this thing with having 2 tires, it was going to come down to when you take that last set of tires. So, I was just right from the green flag, I was qualified in the back. It just kind of took it nice and easy, just saving the tires and stretched them out a second run after the stage there, and then everyone was kind of getting tires there, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to wait a little bit because I think I want my tires with about 25 to 30 to go. And sure enough, we got that caution with 25 to 30 to go when I put them to work. So
yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
Absolutely, a lot of fun slicing and dicing your way up through the field, and obviously we saw you get through them a little bit slower than Tristan Kyle did. He got towards the front there in a quick hurry. Was that just you maybe taking a little bit easier, expecting the run to maybe go more clean and green there throughout that 25-30 lap run, or were you just struggling trying to make some passes out there compared to the 23 ride?
Well, at one point I got kind of boxed in behind a couple of cars on older tires that were just kind of racing each other side by side. So I really just had nowhere to go. And I was sitting there, I watched the 23, he got around those guys first, and I'm sitting there just watching him pull away. And I'm like, man, if I just ride behind here, save some tires, maybe I'll have a chance to run him down by just, saving a little tire. And it almost paid off. I mean, we did get the second place, but, Tristan just got a much better jump on the restart. And then I have to battle Scott there, and he just kind of pulled away a little bit. I think if we had about 3 or 4 more laps, I think it would have been a different story tonight.
Absolutely, so close to tasting victory here this evening at Iowa Speedway, but Joe, still a very solid points night. You parked the 87 right up here on the podium in position number 2. Who would you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance here tonight in the winning bid 155?
Well, first off, I want to thank you for putting on the broadcast here and showcasing some fantastic racing here every Friday night, as well as my teammates and admins here that run the Full Throttle Outlaws. We've got a good thing going here, and I'm looking to continue to build on that. And it's just a lot of fun to come out here to Iowa and put on a fantastic race that I'm sure it was worth watching for the viewers at home.
Yeah, absolutely. Some great racing, a lot of fun out there. Looked like you guys were having a great time, and it's even better when you're able to pull yourself up here into the broadcast booth after a solid performance there on the racetrack. Joe, congrats on the second place finish, and hopefully as we head to Pocono next Friday night, maybe we'll see you right back up here joining us in the booth and maybe one spot better and into victory lane yourself.
Well, that's the plan. I hope we can make it happen next week.
Beauty. We look forward to it, Joe. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you. You as well.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Joe Yakes as Joe comes home in position number 2. As we'll get ready now to pull in our third place finisher, the number 49 of Scott Rankin. Hey Scott, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
I do, sir. How you doing on this fine Saturday Australian morning?
Oh, not too bad at all, man. Not too bad at all, brother. Take us back through it. Obviously, tire strategy, fuel strategy here this evening. You look like you were potentially going to try to run away with this one before that, lap 126 caution flag, with about 25, 30 laps left to go. It looked like maybe if we stayed clean and green, you were just going to run away with this one. Then all of a sudden we see Tristan Kyle, fresh set of tires on. He's able to work his way back up through the field in a quick hurry and able to jump back around you. Then obviously late in this one, you lose that second spot to the 87 of Joe Yanks, who also had the fresher tires there, as well as, it looked like it was going to be yours for a couple minutes there, and then all of a sudden it just got snagged right back away from you, man. Take us through it. What's going through your mind here after the checkered flag?
I'm really really happy with how we drove our Toyota Supra today. Very very happy. Just picked up a new outfit, a new team, which is why there's no paint on the car yet. That's still TBA. But yeah, I'm very happy with the way we drove the car tonight. On the long run, I don't think there was anyone matching us, so I'm really proud of that because ultimately I don't think we had the very freshest of short run speed. The pit strategy call. Look, I was just talking to Tristan, and Tristan said, "Man, I think you guys made the right call." And I said, "I think the same thing. That's just a little bit of luck. If we get cautions back to back to back to back, we're on the right strategy because you can never get the track position like he was hoping for." It didn't play out our way. That's luck, man. We made the right strategy call, and I think that's the big thing. I'm looking back at this race and going, P3. I'm disappointed with P3, but we made all the right strategy calls, and everybody else made. Here's the thing: they made all the right strategy calls for them too. I don't think Tristan should have followed us down pit lane. I think he did the right call for him because that's the only way he was going to win the race. And yeah, look, we forced them into a hole where they only had bad decisions. And they got lucky. That's racing, man. But it was just the aggression levels up front were good. The passing, the spacing. I made contact with Tristan a couple times. It's just good to go racing with him and lean on him a little bit and have that respect repaid as well. So great race all around. Yeah, disappointed with P3, but very happy with the race.
Absolutely. Very, very solid performance for yourself. And as you said, there's a silver lining at it at the end of the day. You're able to survive. You're able to keep that car, still rolling, pointing in the right direction, all 4 tires on it, and you're able to come home with a, top 3 performance where you end up earning some pretty solid points here, midway through the season.
Yeah, a difficult one at Iowa for sure. It's it and Bristol are sort of 2 of the ones you really got to survive. I think it's, to be honest, I think this is a touch harder than Richmond. So yeah, look, I'm just happy we scored a boatload of points today, and like I said, for the Vortex Toyota Supra, we're very proud. To start a new relationship and first 2 races in their colors, second and a third. So very very happy with how things are going at the moment.
Absolutely. Well, second and third, maybe at Pocono. We'll see you finally click off the win there next Friday night. But here tonight, man, solid run, solid performance. Scott, who would you like to thank for such a good performance out there on the racetrack?
Yeah, first and foremost, all the drivers that show up each and every week. Obviously, the racing's very, very high level. It's aggressive. It's good to have that. Everyone who's been watching out there tonight, awesome. Thank you so much for you guys. You yourself for doing the broadcasting, the league admins as well. Big shout out to all my teammates over at Vortex Sim Sports and that new relationship that's all coming together. I want to say a thank you to Maddington Toyota and Canning Vale Toyota, Graham Electrical and Data, Soul Deep Massage Clinic, KZS AutoWorks, Team Conti, Pace Graphics, Styled Imagery, and Casey Simmons Cinematography. So thank you very much for your time.
Absolutely, brother. Scott, enjoy the rest of your evening, and congratulations again on the 3rd place run here this evening.
Thanks, brother.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for the 49 ride as Scott Rankin comes home in that 3rd position here this evening. Solid run, solid performance there for that 49 ride here this evening. We can't wait to see these guys back in action and back out on the racetrack and next Friday night as they will head to the always amazing, always fun Pocono Speedway for what should be another amazing run here on Peacemaker Gaming. We can't wait to see all of you guys back up in the grandstands cheering them on, and hopefully we see you guys up here as well. Tomorrow night, we'll be back up in the booth, and we'll be making the calls for the Premium Stock Car Racing League, and hopefully we'll see you guys back in the grandstands, cheering those guys on, as we can't thank you guys enough here, obviously tonight, showing the love, the likes, the comments, the shares, every single time you guys come in here through any of our broadcasts throughout the week, not just Friday nights. It really helps push the stream out to more prospective viewers and continue to build the community here with every comment, every like, every share. Any new subscribers or followers, man, just continue to keep on growing more and more and more week after week after week. And we can't thank you guys enough for being a part of the Peacemaker family here this evening. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in. Unfortunately, that will do it for us here this evening, and we'll see you guys back here in the next one tomorrow night. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow evening. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love.
grip's a gamble. Tires squeal, hearts race. This leads to scandal. Full throttle, no brakes, chasing that checkered. Drafted lines tighter than a bank teller's ledger. Turn 4 is a monster, jaws wide like a gator. Pit stop, quick cruise, move sharp as a razor. Adrenaline pumps, veins fuel injected. Outlaws on the track, chaos perfected. Full throttle kings, we don't slow down. Ripping through the night, owning this town. Cast to the floor, the crowd gets loud. Outlaws racing, we're born unbound. Smoke trails, girl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint job flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, stealing pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump drafts, link shot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump drafts, link shot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Slow trails curl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint job flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, stealing pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump drafts, link shot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump drafts, link shot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights.